You know that feeling when you are in the studio, excited to work, and want to create some of the best music of your life, but you find yourself tangled in a web of self-doubt and overthinking? It's like your creative flow hits a wall, and instead of laying down fire bars, you're stuck scrutinizing every word and beat. Well, as YouTube's most subscribed channel on teaching the science of how to rap, with over 500,000 subscribers, we not only understand your pain, but we've coached rappers from around the world like yourself exactly how to fix overthinking your raps. So, in today's episode, we're going to show you exactly how to fix the problem of self-doubt when penning your next hit, so that you never overanalyze your raps ever again, as we describe. How to not overthink your raps in 5 simple steps. Now before we begin, be sure to hit the like button as you learn, because it helps our work grow with the almighty algorithm. And if you would like to not only never overthink your raps again, but also actually master the art of creating entire songs on the spot the second you hear the beat, be sure to click the first link in the video description to get our best-selling course, How to Master the Art of Freestyle Rap in 2 weeks or less, where we'll teach you with daily drills, written lessons, and even free beats so that you can never have to overthink your bars again. With that said, let's get you started on the video with step number 1, shift your environment. Now, the first, and maybe the easiest step for fixing the problem of overthinking in rap, is shift your environment. In other words, first attempt to write your rhymes, investigate new beats, or practice your freestyles in a totally different area than where your mind is used to creating in. This is important because if you're experiencing overthinking or even writer's block, one of the key reasons is likely because you've trained your brain to actually shut down when you write or try to create in the same places you've had overthinking and writer's block in the past. And this isn't just a theory either. This strategy has been used by some of rap's most iconic figures to great effect, showing just how powerful a new setting can be for innovation. Take Kanye West's classic album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, for example. To escape the hustle and pressure of his usual environment, Kanye took himself to a secluded mansion in Hawaii, and the lush, peaceful surroundings provided a sharp contrast to his hectic life in Los Angeles. This wasn't just a physical move, but a deliberate attempt to clear his mind and dive deeply into his music. The calm island atmosphere allowed Kanye to focus intensely, leading to the creation of an album that not only broke new ground in hip-hop, but was also hailed for its depth and innovation. Similarly, Outkast's approach to recording their album Stankonia highlights how a change of environment can boost creativity. The duo decided to build their own studio in Atlanta, actually naming it Stankonia. By investing in a personal space dedicated to their music, Outkast could experiment with new sounds and techniques that might have been limited in a traditional studio. This shift wasn't just about a new physical space, it was about gaining the freedom and control to explore their artistic boundaries. Their new studio became a symbol of their creativity and independence, helping them produce an album that left a lasting mark on hip-hop. So, changing your environment isn't just for the rap legends. It's something you can try in your own creative journey to fight overthinking and refresh your artistry. Let's see how you can apply this strategy to your own process. Start by finding a new location that inspires you. This could be anything from rearranging your current studio space to simply deciding to write some bars in a different room of your own house or apartment. But the goal is to break the monotony. If your studio is cluttered and familiar, try changing up the decor, adding some plants, or adjusting the color scheme to create a fresh atmosphere that sparks creativity. Alternatively, consider moving your creative process to a completely different setting. If you usually work from home, try collaborating in a rented studio space or even a cozy coffee shop. Just like Kanye found inspiration in the tranquility of Hawaii, a change in where you work could provide a new perspective and reignite your passion. Even a small shift in your working environment can make a big difference in your mindset and creativity. However, it might not be that easy for you to simply start making bars in another place. So, in the next step, we'll give you an even more common solution for fixing overthinking in rap in step number 2, dive into the now. When we say dive into the now, we're really talking about one of the holy grails of true rap skill, freestyling. Because when you dive into the now by mastering the art of going off the top, you let go of past regrets and future anxieties, channeling all your energy into the task at hand. And this approach allows for a more authentic and impactful creative process. Looking at how successful rappers maintain their presence in their creative work can offer useful insights. Juice WRLD's freestyles were a great example of the power of staying in the moment. Known for his ability to generate spontaneous and impactful lyrics, Juice WRLD showed how being fully immersed in the present can lead to remarkable and authentic performances. His freestyles weren't planned, and they flowed from his ability to remain in the now, allowing his raw emotion and creativity to shine. Similarly, Lil Wayne's recording process demonstrates the benefits of staying in the flow. Rather than meticulously writing down his lyrics ahead of time, Weezy often crafts his verses on the spot in the studio. This spontaneous approach requires him to be fully present, embracing the moment as it happens. By translating his thoughts and emotions directly into his music without premeditation, Lil Wayne produces some of his most dynamic work. His method highlights the importance of letting go of preconceived notions and embracing the immediacy of the creative process. To apply this strategy in your own career, we suggest taking part in the discounted freestyle course we mentioned in the beginning of this video, but regardless of if you take part in that or not, be sure to at least incorporate elements of improvisation into your recording process. Experiment with freestyling or spontaneous flows to capture a more authentic expression of your creativity. Adding this approach not only helps in capturing raw, unfiltered emotion, but also encourages you to stay engaged with the present moment. However, on the flip side, you can actually use the overthinking you experience to make dope songs, taking advantage of your busy mind to create classics. As we describe in step number 3, dissect your mind. Now, as we all know by now, overthinking can really get in the way of the creative process, especially for rappers who need to turn complex thoughts and emotions into powerful lyrics. A helpful strategy to tackle overthinking is to dissect your mind, breaking down your intrusive thoughts to understand where they come from, how they affect you now, and what impact they might have in the future. Next, actually create a song about that very topic. How exactly your experiences and overwhelming thoughts have affected you in the long term. For example, the song One Mic by Nas shows how he dissects his thoughts and emotions with impressive clarity. By breaking down his internal struggles, Nas helps listeners grasp his complex ideas and experiences, and following his example can teach you how to analyze and convey your own thoughts effectively in your lyrics. Similarly, J. Cole's Fire album, For Your Eyes Only, breaks down his thoughts and experiences in a way that deeply resonates with his audience, and his ability to articulate his internal dialogues provides a model for exploring and expressing your own thoughts in a meaningful manner. To incorporate these strategies into your career, set aside time for introspection. Regularly evaluate your thoughts and feelings to understand their origins and impacts. Keep a journal for jotting down reflections and insights, which you can later weave into your lyrics. When you're writing, try to break down complex ideas into manageable parts and use your reflections as a base to build your verses, making sure each line contributes to a cohesive narrative. This approach not only adds depth to your lyrics, but also helps manage overthinking by giving you a structured way to express your ideas. But if having all of these different ideas written into random verses doesn't help you with your actual songwriting, it can be a waste, which is why next we'll cover how to force yourself to actually make dope music with your thoughts. In step number 4, set time constraints. Now, overthinking can often lead to a standstill, where ideas swirl around in your head and never get turned into something tangible. A solid way to tackle this issue is by setting time constraints, creating deadlines and limits that push you to act and reduce the time spent ruminating. By imposing these structured timelines on your creative process, you can boost your focus and productivity, making your work more dynamic and timely. To set effective time constraints, start by defining specific deadlines and limits for each phase of your project. This could mean setting deadlines for writing a verse, recording a track, or completing an entire album, but the goal is to create a sense of urgency that drives you to act rather than overthink. Begin by breaking your project into smaller tasks and assigning realistic deadlines to each. For example, if you're working on an album, set deadlines for individual tracks, refining lyrics, and finalizing mixes. This way, you can manage each part of the process without feeling overwhelmed and keep a steady pace. And much like every other step in this training, some of the best music in rap history has been made this way. Take Dr. Dre's album, The Chronic, for example. Dr. Dre reportedly set strict deadlines during its production to ensure he and his team stayed focused and productive. And this disciplined approach contributed to the creation of a landmark album in hip-hop history. By sticking to these deadlines, Dr. Dre channeled his creativity into a cohesive and groundbreaking project. Similarly, Public Enemy's "It takes a nation of millions to hold us back" illustrates the power of tight production schedules. The group's dedication to strict timelines allowed them to channel their intense energy and political messages into a powerful, cohesive album, and the pressure of meeting deadlines drove them to deliver a work that was both timely and impactful. To apply time constraints to your own creative work, start by setting clear and achievable deadlines for each phase. Leverage tools like calendars, timers, or productivity apps to track your deadlines and stay accountable. And regular reminders and progress reviews can help keep you on track and prevent overthinking. Try incorporating creative sprints into your routine, where you dedicate a focused period, say 30 minutes to an hour, to a specific task. During this time, work as efficiently as possible without letting your mind drift. This can lead to more productive sessions and reduce the tendency to overanalyze. Lastly, stay flexible and adjust deadlines as needed. While time constraints are important, it's also crucial to maintain the quality of your work. Finding a balance between deadlines and creative freedom helps ensure both productivity and the integrity of your work. Even when that all said, if the pressure is too intense for you, given the fact you've added a schedule, in our last part of this training, we'll show you how to instantly make tracks, even with pressure, as we describe step number 5, prototype before perfecting. And lastly, a practical way to tackle overthinking when you have a deadline or a schedule is to focus on creating quick prototypes rather than aiming for perfection right away. By allowing yourself to produce rough drafts and create more and more versions rapidly, you can ease the pressure of getting everything perfect on the first try, making the creative process more manageable and productive. Furthermore, creating quick prototypes means developing initial versions of your work without expecting them to be perfect. Whether you're drafting lyrics, recording rough versions of tracks, or experimenting with beats, the idea is to get your thoughts out quickly and explore different directions. And this approach lets you work freely, experimenting and making adjustments without being bogged down by the need for immediate perfection. As you review and refine these prototypes, you can make improvements based on what works and what doesn't, leading to a more polished final product. And looking at how successful artists use this step-by-step approach can be quite revealing. Kanye's work on Yeezus, for example, was known for its multi-attempt music production, creating multiple versions of tracks before finalizing them. This approach allowed him to experiment freely, explore various sonic possibilities, and push the boundaries of his sound. By not being restricted by the need for early-stage perfection, Kanye was able to refine his work into something groundbreaking and influential. To apply this method in your own rap career, start by creating rough drafts without worrying about perfection. Jot down your initial ideas, record preliminary versions of your tracks, or experiment with various beats. No doubt, you gotta embrace the imperfections and use these prototypes as a starting point for further development. Then, incorporate regular review sessions into your workflow. After creating a prototype, set aside time to listen critically and pinpoint areas for improvement. Additionally, seek feedback from trusted peers or collaborators during the prototyping phase. Fresh perspectives can provide valuable insights and help you spot strengths and weaknesses in your work. With that said, overall the most important lesson you can learn from this video is that you can indeed master the skill of not overthinking your bars, and hopefully you found value in that goal from this video. If you're interested in learning more from us directly, be sure to visit the video description box below for our training. But with that said, thanks for watching us here at How to Rap, and peace.